Advanced Searching in Psycinfo. This is an advanced searching tutorial for the Psycinfo database, the purpose of which is to show the advanced search options and how to use subject headings to return focused, on-topic results. If you're new to using databases or aren't sure how to get into the Psycinfo database, you should begin by first watching the Introduction to Psycinfo and Finding Articles, the Basics videos before watching this video. If you're relatively comfortable using databases and are trying to find ways to strengthen your search skills with this one database, then this video is for you. Let's start by looking at the advanced search options. If you go to the advanced search page in Psycinfo, you'll notice quite a few options for limiting your search. Some of these, such as language and publication year, you may have seen as limits in other databases. But there are other categories, such as age groups, methodology, and population group, that are only available as limits at Psycinfo. Depending on what you're looking for, these limits can be extremely useful. If you're looking for articles dealing with individuals of a certain age, the age group limit can be really useful. If you want articles that only study women or only study men, use the population group limit. The real hidden gem, however, is the methodology limit, which allows you to limit articles by the research methodology used in collecting data. So, if your professor requires you to find a lit review or an empirical scholarly peer-reviewed article, this is where you can limit your results to those kind of articles. And here's a pro tip. If you hold down the Shift key as you're selecting these options, you can select more than one at a time. Again, many of these advanced search features are only available in Psycinfo, so make sure you see Psycinfo up at the top of the page where it says Searching if you want to take advantage of these options. Next, let's talk about how to narrow down search results in Psycinfo. If you're doing a search for a known item or for works by a known author, you've probably done a search by author or title before. But what if you're doing a search on a general topic and aren't sure what exactly you're looking for? The default search for Psycinfo searches the abstract, author, keyword, classification codes, subjects, title, and translated title fields. The default search covers a lot, but the problem is that it often retrieves too much. To get a more focused search, we can limit our search to the subjects field, which is much more accurate than a default search since entries in the subjects field are assigned by humans, and use a set of strictly controlled terms to describe what an article is about. Let's do a demo of this kind of searching to show what I mean and why subject searching is helpful. Let's say you're looking for articles on PTSD and soldiers. If we do a keyword search on this topic, we get almost 700 results. A really quick way to narrow this down while still finding articles that are on topic is a search for articles based on subject headings rather than by keyword. There are a few ways to find subject headings, but one of the most effective ways is to use something called the thesaurus. Unlike a regular thesaurus, a database's thesaurus contains all that database's subject headings and how they relate to other headings. Many databases have a thesaurus, so learning how to use it in one database will help you in many others. Let's look in the thesaurus to see if there are any subject headings that relate to our topics. If we search PTSD, the first thing that comes up tells us that post-traumatic stress disorder is the term we should be using. We can also click through to the record for post-traumatic stress disorder, which will list broader, narrower, and related terms that we can use to modify our search. It also tells us the terms this subject heading stands in for. For now, let's stay with post-traumatic stress disorder, and for our other terms, we'll enter soldiers in the thesaurus. Here, the entry says to use the term military personnel. If we click through to that record, we find narrower and related terms for what we're looking for. So after looking at this list, let's say we decide we want to focus on PTSD only in Army and Marine personnel. We can take these and put them in one box using OR to tell the database we're interested in finding articles with either of these terms. Then we'll put post-traumatic stress disorder in the second box. And remember, we want to search them as subject headings since they're terms we found in the thesaurus. When we do our search, we get over 100 results, which is better than what we had before, but it's still kind of a lot. To narrow this down even more, we can go into the advanced search and apply some limits. Let's say, for instance, we're interested in women soldiers. We can select female from the population groups, and now when we run the search again, we have around 50 results that are going to be highly relevant to the topic we're interested in. To review, use the advanced search options in Psycinfo to limit to age groups, methodology, and population group. Use subject headings to find articles on a focused topic, and use the thesaurus to look up subject headings and to find ideas for headings you wouldn't otherwise have considered. These are very powerful tools which can be the difference between spending 2 hours looking in a database and finding things that are only sort of relevant, versus spending 20 minutes to find articles that are very on topic. And that's a brief demonstration of how to use a few of Psycinfo's advanced features.